Welcome to Terror in Tandem, a podcast about finding entertainment in the macabre, hosted by the knowledgeable and lovable Laura and Richard Mathiasen. Each episode, we discuss the horror genre, from books to film to TV and beyond, sometimes even from the beyond. You can find us online at terrorintandem.com and on Instagram at terrorintandem. And 'tis the season for terror!
Yeah. Wow.
Did I yell that?
Yeah, I mean, it did seem to spike, and
sorry.
sparks flew out of my computer.
Maybe the editor can edit that.
Yeah.
But this is our holiday spectacular month of tizzing the tissel mistletoes of terror.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Merry everything.
Same to you, mister.
All right. What are we doing today, beloved co-host?
Well, we're going to be our own critics and say,
I don't like
how
that.
did we do?
I mean, criticize
We're going to do
myself?
the hits and misses of our monthly recommendations.
That's a good idea. Holding our cloven feet to the brimstone flames.
Yeah.
I'm reaching, but
that was dark.
It was a stretch. Feet to the fire.
Even for this podcast, that's dark.
Well, I've been trying to stretch more, get limber as I age into my fourth century.
Stretch those chestnuts out. Becomes like...
Well, they're currently roasting over an open fire, so...
Stretching the chestnuts to become arm nuts.
What?
If you stretch the chestnuts out.
Is that what you would call like...
Nuts on your chest?
No, like, yeah,
That's
I guess...
chestnuts.
Man boobs would be chestnuts.
So, yeah, this is our accountability episode. We're going to...
That sounds scary.
Be held accountable for our recommendations. And if you have too many misses...
Yeah, listener, you obviously can't see this, but both of us are wired to car batteries. Like a wall
Snuffcast
of
is
car
what
batteries.
we're calling it.
Each time one of our recommendations goes awry, we will get zapped.
Yeah.
It's terrible. I don't know why we're doing this. I mean, nobody's making us. We're just...
Yeah, it's called the Snuffcast.
That's fucked up. It's like Squid Game.
Yeah,
Terror
exactly
in Tandem.
right.
Yeah. All right. Well, cool. Welcome to Saw 10, Terror in Tandem. We're each hooked up to very scary, rusty devices.
I thought they were car batteries.
Yeah, that too. We have contingencies. Basically, we overdid it.
No one has been harmed in the making of this episode
yet, but I might cry by the end.
What else is new?
We're in the dreary days of December.
I didn't mean that wasn't a question. You said I'm gonna cry, and I was like,
that was
what
rhetorical.
Else is new?
Huh? Yeah. Well, whatever. A man in touch with his feelings. What's scarier than that, right?
I'm not scared. So why don't we start? We started this podcast in way back in May times.
We've always been doing this podcast, Laura.
So we're going to go through each month and talk about our hits and misses and maybe things that we didn't get to that we're still excited about and on our list.
I mean, I feel like those were recommendations, not ironclad promises to watch and consume all of it. We're just two people. Come on. Leave us alone.
We're doing our best.
Come on, everyone.
Can't get everything right.
Listener.
So why don't we start with May?
Let's do it. Okay, so starting off with May, I'm going to go with my hit, and this one is a huge hit. I recommended a Finnish film called Hatching. It's streaming on Shudder. I cannot recommend this movie enough. I was looking forward to it, but when I watched it, I had my mind blown right out the back of my head. I mean, this movie...
Wow.
Shook
Visceral.
me. It really did. It just had everything. First off, the creature effects were done by Weta, and they were legit. Really good, goopy, gross stuff. But this movie surprised me on so many levels. It was, it's something I'm going to be talking about a little bit more when we do our end of the year wrap up. But I just wanted to say that I was hoping this movie would be enjoyable, and I left jaw on the floor, just floored. Hannah Bergholm is a director to watch. I can't wait to see what she does next.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was. I know I'm gushing a bit, but it was that good.
Well, for me, my hits hit real well.
Ooh, okay.
I can't really choose between my two hits of the month.
Then don't.
One of my recommendations was Stranger Things Part 1.
Oh yeah,
Final
yeah.
season, and
Yeah.
it was amazing.
It was.
Obviously lots of things happened, but I would say that it was the scariest of all of the seasons.
Definitely the biggest budget for sure.
Yeah, and it was we got the introduction of Eddie into our
Eddie
lives,
Munson,
who just was incredible.
and I don't remember the actor's name, but it seems like he's headed for good things.
Yeah,
and well deserved. He was great on the show.
And I would say that was really a highlight of my intro into the summer, and I was very, very happy with Stranger Things Part 1.
Same.
My other hit was The Staircase.
I didn't watch that one, but you did.
Remember, I kept showing you those
You
falling down the stairs scenes?
So yes, I did. I did watch that part several times.
Incredible.
And holy Christ.
Again, I'm going to put this out there that Toni Collette is incredible in everything she does.
Recently divorced.
I know, I saw that.
Yeah.
Again, Toni Collette, she's incredible. She was incredible in this.
Yeah.
It really did bring into question, for me anyway, because I did watch the documentary, and I was pretty convinced that Michael Peterson was guilty. And I would have to say that the Staircase drama miniseries on HBO made me question my own initial feelings.
We call that the Colin Firth effect.
Well, it wasn't Colin Firth. It was the director.
The Firthening?
Who recreated the fall down the stairs in multiple different ways.
That was very interesting.
That felt plausible to me.
Yeah. And very graphic.
Very graphic.
Yeah.
But Toni Collette was incredible. And
my God.
I would highly recommend, if you haven't seen it, The Staircase on HBO Max.
I would watch Toni Collette quietly read the newspaper and sip tea for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And she's
always incredible.
She's our queen for a reason. That's awesome. 2 hits. Well, I would quick mention that, we did recommend Men, Alex Garland's film with Rory Kinnear and Rory Buckley.
We did not get to it.
Not yet, and we're really looking forward to it. Just haven't gotten to it yet. Do we have to say a miss?
Only if you have one.
I mean, I recommended Firestarter, and I haven't bothered because life's too short. Yeah, I heard it. Not great things about it.
I think it was a miss on the market.
It's a bummer.
It skewed our desire to see it.
The director's first film, The Vigil, is a movie that I really, really enjoyed. So too bad his follow-up didn't seem to hit. But not going to watch it.
My other recommendation was a book called Hide, which I did not get to. I will get to it. I have a TBR pile that is...
Oh, yeah.
Very tall.
Listen, one more book and we're going to bust through the floor.
But I definitely will get to it. And again, it's called Hide.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you'll all recall, but
obviously they do. Everyone is hanging on
the back
every word.
Cover. The back cover said 14 competitors, 7 days, everywhere to hide, but nowhere to run.
Yikes.
Come out wherever you are.
No, thank you.
And it's by Kirsten White.
Cool. Well, all right. Let's move on to what comes after May. Is it June?
It is.
Hold on. It is. It's June. What did we recommend in June? What do we got as a hit in June?
Well, we fought over the black phone.
And it was vicious.
It was a hit.
They called the cops.
A high hit.
Big hit.
Ethan Hawke.
We loved it.
Did an incredible job. The Mask, we talked about in Mask episode.
Yeah.
It was...
Great vibe.
Right. Like really good cinematography.
Yeah.
It really captured that 80s kidnapper
It wasn't...
feel.
It was
suspenseful and like a thriller rather than horror.
I agree. There were supernatural elements to it, but I'd say that the strongest parts of the film were really more the like Ethan Hawke's performance, the human parts.
Yeah, when he was sitting in the chair
He
waiting.
was really scary in this
and the
movie.
different facial expressions of the masks.
And want to bring up, I think we talked about it in the episode, but when he accepted the role, he did so by calling Scott Derrickson and reading a line from the script in like a scary voice, and the line was something like, "I'm gonna fucking kill you."
Yeah.
And Scott Derrickson was like,
You have the wrong number.
Yeah. That's one way to accept a job. I'm going to just say my next job interview and see how it works out for me. Black Phone was great. I have a mixed review from June, and I recommended Crimes of the Future, which is David Cronenberg. Now,
I was never on board with this. So.
Understood. Here's the thing. It was mixed, certainly. That is still... Now, a mixed David Cronenberg film is still very much worth a watch. It's a fascinating watch. It's got a lot going on, a lot to say. Not sure it all quite lands, but what I found really interesting about this movie was I think you get a lot more out of it if you, like me, have watched most, if not all, of Cronenberg's prior films, because this felt like almost like a greatest hits album in a way. And like a greatest hit, in that, it brought together elements of Existenz, of Dead Ringers, of The Fly, but also like a greatest hits album, it was a little thin. It didn't have the cohesiveness of some of his other films, but the performances were fantastic. Léa Seydoux and Kristen Stewart gave this like really manic performance that was really great. It's totally worth a watch. It's just not his best movie, but it's still a David Cronenberg movie, so it's better than most of the stuff you're going to watch, and it legitimately is very classic Cronenberg. Like it's a reminder that there's really no one else doing this.
Yeah. Well, one of my other recommendations that is definitely a hit is Watcher.
Oh, was that from June?
Watcher.
Yeah. Oh, we both like that one. Chloe Okuno's Watcher.
Yeah, her directorial debut.
One to watch for sure.
Oh, my goodness. And Micah Monroe, who we totally love, and Carl Glusman. And it
Bern
takes place...
Gorman in it. From old Torchwood days.
Right. It takes place in Bucharest, and it was filmed there, and it has this amazing setting and very subtle thriller voyeur.
It had a
voyeur
classic
becomes
Hitchcock vibe to it.
The watch becomes the watcher vibe. It was incredibly well done. It's a slow burn, but I really, really enjoyed it.
I thought it was captivating. It's a movie that it really hinges on Micah Monroe's performance. A lesser actor, the movie would have sunk, but she really is just she's very good.
And the director, what'd you say?
Rather good.
The director said that she is a huge fan of Alex Garland's. So.
Oh, well, good taste.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, gosh, watch Annihilation, everybody.
Watch Ex Machina, everybody.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Watch all of it.
So what's your miss of the month?
I don't really have one. I did recommend a book, Aurora, that, be honest, I'm probably not going to get to. It's being adapted to Netflix. I just have a lot of other books that are already on my list.
Your TBR pile is big.
Yeah, it is. It always is. And listen, obviously we are incredibly wealthy and successful podcasters,
right.
But we do, for some reason, still work, full-time jobs.
Yeah.
So I do my best.
I have a to be read pile in all of our properties.
True. Yeah.
I did have a miss of the month, sadly.
Oh, bummer.
A book called House Across the Lake. I really was looking forward to this based on the premise. I like Riley Sager and her books, usually are hits for me. This one, though, had every single thriller plot after plot after plot after plot.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't busy. Even that. It was shocking reveal after shocking reveal, but
Oh yeah,
it was so
yeah.
tiresome
I get it.
that it would just became like a mess.
Have you
So
ever seen
unfortunately, I would not recommend this book. It was just pretty sloppy, like everything was thrown in it.
You ever see the David Mamet movie Heist with Gene Hackman?
I don't think so.
It was like that. It was like twist reveal, twist
Yeah.
reveal, twist reveal, where you're like, wait, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Come on.
There were too many twists that I end up like, untwisted by the end.
Yeah, yeah. I like that. I like that a lot. That was good. Untwisted. We're using it. Keep it. Print it. T-shirt. Now, normally, ladies and gents, what comes after June is a little something we like to call July.
Right. The hottest month.
Let's do it. Let's do July. July was a big one.
Yeah,
It was a big month. I'm going to start it out with just a huge mega hit, What We Do in the Shadows season 4. Just
amazing.
the best. The funniest show on TV, the best horror comedy. It's superlative and it earns all of the superlatives. It keeps getting better too. Like they keep expanding the mythology. It keeps getting better. The performances are perfect. It is just an absolute joy. Yeah. I mean, it's a pretty easy recommendation.
Yeah, my win of the month is Stranger Things season 4, part 2.
Oh.
I mean, with season part 1, it was so good, and then part 2 did not disappoint. I wasn't let down.
Yeah.
I rode the ride the
Those
whole
kids
time.
get put through some shit.
They really do. I'm just glad it's been spaced out a little bit and not all put on Will.
Yeah,
I mean, now it's all on Sadie Sink's character.
I agree
lot on her.
that the first few seasons it was like, Will, man.
I know,
what a
poor
life.
Will.
What
But
a
I did
life.
like the parallel storylines.
Yeah.
In Russia and in
That could have gone terribly, but it really did work.
yeah, it did. I thought it was, really well done. We saw like David Harbour skinny, muscly with no shirt on
I know
for a lot.
he lost a lot of
He
weight.
did.
When actors do that to themselves, especially when, they're not in their 20s, that puts a lot of strain on the body.
And also I just want to say that, Hawkins, Indiana, I wouldn't live there.
Yeah, there are a few towns out there, Haddonfield, Illinois, Hawkins, Indiana.
Derry, Maine.
Just, whoo.
Yeah.
I bet the housing, it's pretty affordable.
But it didn't let me down at all. Both parts 1 and 2, great.
Yeah.
Really happy about it. Looking forward to what comes next.
Yeah. I from all accounts, an epic finale on its way.
Mm-hmm.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Eddie.
The other big hit we had in July was Nope.
Oh, wow.
We loved it.
Yeah, we really did.
Big fans. Once again, Jordan Peele knocking it out of the park, doing something very different from
Absolutely.
Get Out. Very
surprisingly
different from us.
different, but also really, really well done.
Great. There's a moment in this movie in particular that I cannot get out of my mind that was horrifying.
The breathing.
The when they get I don't want to give it away.
Oh, I thought that the
yeah.
breathing of it.
Yeah, it has some moments of true cosmic horror that really make your skin crawl, but it's also like all Jordan Peele's work.
A
It's
social commentary.
incisive, it's biting, it's a fascinating movie, excellent performances. Keke Palmer's phenomenal. She's so charismatic in this movie, just like infinitely watchable. And Daniel Kaluuya, as always, amazing. It's just, Nope was great.
Well, it's like
It's a great time.
It's a movie about like phenomena.
Yeah.
Like otherworldly
Oh,
phenomenon.
and also
it's also a commentary on our fascination
The
with it.
side plot with Stephen Yeun's character was so interesting and weird, and like I loved it. He is awesome. He's always in good stuff too. Like Stephen Yeun picks his projects really well.
Yeah. It was a commentary on erasing the influence that Black people have on Hollywood's start and how critical it is to,
Absolutely.
the stunts of Hollywood.
You're talking about the family business and the erasure of Black contributions to Hollywood, especially the golden years, the beginnings. Absolutely. 100%. Yeah. No, it's insightful. It's biting. It cuts. Michael Wincott is also in it. I mean, for genre fans, he shows up. He does a great job as this like grizzled, pissed off director.
Yeah.
It's like a wild time. It's just fun, but also horrifying.
What's your miss of the month?
Of July? Oh, you know what? I think I and I said this when I recommended it. I wasn't too sure about it. The Netflix Resident Evil show.
Yeah.
For some reason, nobody can seem to get an adaptation of Resident Evil quite right. And they canceled it like immediately. I haven't watched it, and I'm not gonna.
All right.
Sorry, Lance Reddick. I mean, you're great. But sorry. I watched Fringe.
I recommended The It Girl by Ruth Ware book, and it was a very solid entry. I have not gotten to The Pallbearers Club by Paul Tremblay, but I will, and I know it will be a hit. I don't have any misses
books,
for the month.
To be honest with you, sometimes I hold off reading them because he intimidates me. His books are
They're very scary
and sometimes gut-wrenching.
Yes.
Like they're an emotional impact that you have to be like ready for. And sometimes I'll look at a Paul Tremblay book and be like, I need something lighter. I just need some candy first. And then, they're amazing and they're worth it, but like you've got to be ready for it.
Well, let's take a break.
Do it.
Have you had a falling out with someone in your life? Want to rid your holiday of the toxic family member who just dampens your days? Well, we have a solution for your peskiest personnel problem. Introducing Santa Slays. At Santa Slays, we have the most vicious and violent of mall Santas in our arsenal, now at your disposal, and the disposal of that annoying neighbor who just rubs you the wrong way. Santa Slays offers full removal and disposal of any toxic person in your life, all while pretending to deliver the joys of the most wonderful time of the year. Our Santas don the custom regalia, show up in the middle of the night, chimney entries where available, and slay the night away. Our full-service option also provides custom disposal. With our discreet Santa sack, biodegradable and environmentally friendly, your nemesis will never be heard from again. So let our fleet of Santas deliver you from any further frustrations of those who have been on your naughty list all year. Contact Santa Slays today to disappear your holiday blues. This is a fake ad for a fake product on a horror-themed podcast. We do not condone nor endorse murdering people that are annoying, and as far as we know, Santas are not murderous. All right, let's go back.
Quality products from quality sponsors.
Let's go back to August.
August?
Yeah, for our hits and misses. That was a good month. I'm going to put it right out there, everyone. Well, I sort of have a miss.
I don't. I turkeyed in August for all you bowlers.
Turkey every month.
For all you bowlers out there.
Is that really a bowling term?
Yeah, I think it's when you hit 3 strikes in a row, it's a turkey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I turkeyed all over the place.
Well, too bad you didn't turkey in November. But bum.
Boop. So? My August turkeys?
Pick your best.
I've got all of them were good.
You got to pick your best.
No, I'm picking all of them. So I recommended Bodies, Bodies, Bodies.
Yeah, that was a surprise for me how much I liked it.
We loved it. I was looking forward to it, but also I was a little nervous because the trailers, I kind of made it seem like it could have been just a series of cringy attempts at, like taking down a generation, which that can really go awry. No, this movie ruled.
Yeah.
And it was
It was
really
really
good.
funny.
Yeah. I would say the
Horror
satire
comedy.
hits. The performances are across the board fantastic. It's really violent. And like one of those, like
Over
really
the top, ridiculous violence.
it's a good time movie. Like it's a you're kind of like it's a ride for sure. But Bodies was awesome.
So I recommended 3 movies actually, and 2 of them were hits: Resurrection and Barbarian. Those were hits for me.
Damn, August was stacked.
Yeah, it really was.
Both of
but
those
I'm gonna
movies
go
were
with
rad.
Barbarian because
All right.
I was a little reluctant. I didn't watch the full trailer because I felt like it gave too much away. It's a bonkers movie, but it is really good, really tense. I really liked the female protagonist of the movie.
Yeah.
I thought that she was really great.
Yeah. The character was great.
Justin Long plays just this whiny douchebag. It's crazy and
You know,
awesome.
I'm sure he's a lovely guy in person, but
He was talking about how everyone hates him now.
he just listen. He's good at it. He's good
Yeah.
at it, and that doesn't mean he's an actor. It doesn't
Yeah.
mean anything about his personality. He's just really, really good at playing that like
whiny
slimy jerk.
douchebag. Yeah.
Yeah,
But it was really a surprisingly strange and horrifying movie.
it's a wonderful subversion too. Like it does pull the rug out from under you
yeah,
a couple
you
of
can't
times.
really tell you what it's about because
Don't
it'll ruin the whole thing.
read anything.
But it's
Go
really
in
good.
blind. In this day and age where I don't know, it was so refreshing to me to go into this movie knowing very, very little, and then what little I did know was completely wrong.
Yeah. And Resurrection, I mean, the ending was insane
I'm going to be
and
getting into
very
that
violent,
one. Our end of the year wrap up.
very bloody.
Spoiler alert: that is one of my favorites of the year.
Yeah,
for
it was
sure.
great. I
Yeah.
would highly recommend it.
Yet
as I
another
already
year
did.
where Rebecca Hall is dominating
Yeah,
horror
she's
movies.
incredible.
Yeah, she is. I would say like she's where Toni Collette was like 10 years ago. She's coming up and starring in these fascinating projects and really establishing herself as I know she does other work. I don't mean to pigeonhole her into just horror movies, but within this genre, she is really,
Absolutely.
really making a name for herself.
What's your miss of the month?
I had none.
Oh,
Like I
okay.
said, another hit for me was Prey.
Oh yeah, it was
Prey
really
was
great.
awesome.
Prey was
I
great.
got my wife to watch a Predator movie, and she loved it.
I
That's
did.
how good this was.
I really loved it. I've never watched a Predator movie, and this was my first and probably last, but it was incredible. It was really great, and I thought it had Apocalypto vibes because of the
little bit.
indigenous
I'll
tribe
say the representation
relationship.
from Amber Midthunder through the whole cast was fantastic. It was really tense and cool, badass, satisfying, full of action. Dan Trachtenberg nailed it. And man, that was a franchise that really seemed like it had nowhere to go. This was an interesting, refreshing take.
Yeah.
And it worked on just every level for me.
It was really enjoyable, really tight, very delightful
Yeah.
in a horrifying way.
Yeah.
I think it's on Hulu.
It is. It's on Hulu, and my other hit is on Paramount Plus, and it's Beast.
Oh yeah, we did just watch that, and Idris Elba is just a dynamo.
Okay.
A dynamo, I said.
Yeah. Listen, it's exactly what you think it is. It's exactly what you want it to be. No more, no less. It's lean. It's mean. It's Idris Elba with strong dad energy fighting a lion, and that's it. That's all the movie is, and it works.
It's a solid entry.
Yeah, it's it's like have fun, grab a drink, watch Beast. It's a ride.
I did have a miss, sadly.
I didn't.
They them.
Oh yeah, that's a bummer. That one didn't work out.
Yeah, it just
Had a lot of promise.
I think it tried too hard to
Yeah.
do too much in a movie form. I think that the concept of the conversion summer camp being really dark and evil, would have benefited more from a series, even a
Maybe,
short series.
yeah. I mean, it's tough because the original premise itself, conversion camps. It's how do you make that more horrifying than it already is?
Yeah,
you know?
They did a good job. It's just it was too much in the short window of a film.
Yeah,
and so it came across really sloppy.
it's tough tackling a subject like that, especially in a time like this.
I mean, all
It's
the
very
actors,
easy. It's very easy to go wrong.
all the actors really did well.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like there's some up and comers there. I think the script could have been a little bit better.
Yeah, a swing and a miss.
Yeah,
But still appreciate the try.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I would like to see more LGBTQIA representation in horror
Absolutely.
in a non-exploitive way.
It just makes for, more stories to tell.
Absolutely.
Moving on to September.
Absolutely. Let's go.
Oh, the leaves are starting to turn.
They sure are.
But it's still warm. It's still warm. Now, a big hit for the both of us, and we want to preface this by saying, fuck the drama. Don't worry, darling.
Oh,
We
yeah.
really liked it.
I don't understand why everybody was poo-pooing on
It
this
was
movie.
what a bunch of shit.
This is a solid horror thriller.
Yeah. I don't know what
The
were people's
visuals-
expectations exactly.
Olivia Wilde is a good director.
Yeah.
Whatever it takes behind the scenes for her to get the end product, I mean, you're getting paid to perform, so
And
just perform.
So it just
Honestly, I just thought her choices, there was a lot of circles.
it's a sumptuous movie. It's visually
And the
lavish.
reveal is incredible.
I love the reveal. I thought it was great.
Everybody did a great
the
job.
performances were great.
Florence Pugh obviously steals every single scene she's in because you can't take your eyes off of her.
Yeah.
She's just very charismatic.
Florence Pugh
But Harry
is,
Styles was solid.
I'm not exactly sure what the criticism about Harry Styles was about. He's not as good an actor as he is a singer, but he's like a world-class singer, and he's a perfectly fine
I mean,
actor.
he's an abnormally incredible
exactly.
performer.
Yeah.
So his acting, this is what, his second film
I
that
thought
he's
he was
been in?
fine. Yeah. Like Dunkirk and My Policeman is the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
thought he was
did
fine.
great.
Yeah.
I
Listen,
thought Nick Kroll was a
Don't-
really great addition. I'd like to see him.
I want to
getting
know
this type of
exactly.
work.
So, is the controversy about Olivia Wilde that she had a boyfriend and like what?
There's a lot of controversy. It's the timing of it,
But, like,
and her dating him and her
anybody-
relationship. Who
Anybody
cares?
pissed off
It's
about
not
Olivia
the
Wilde?
movie.
Have they Googled Bernardo Bertolucci? I mean, like, it just there's so much of this that's it just seemed like why is everyone making such a big
I
deal?
knew all of this tension and this red carpet stuff,
Who
the relationship
cares?
stuff, and it did not read on film.
No,
It wasn't
really
reflected.
didn't. No, the movie. If you can put all that nonsense out of your mind, just go watch the movie
Yeah,
and judge
don't
it on
sleep
its
on
own.
this movie. It's good.
We're not
Don't
claiming
sleep.
it's not the best thing ever by any means, but it is really solid.
Don't sleep.
Um,
One of my hits was Smile.
that came out in September.
Yeah,
Wow.
September 30th, right
I
at the end.
loved it.
We loved it.
We loved it.
It was a really scary,
Yeah.
really, really well done horror movie, especially exposing the mishandling of mental illness.
Yes. It honestly, I'm.
And
it's a
I do mean
double-edged
that
sword.
the mishandling of mental illness.
Absolutely. You'll notice there are a lot of movies these days, especially within the horror genre, that deal with trauma, and that's both wonderful because it's a great outlet to explore those things and possibly feel some sense of communities and catharsis. But also, I think it's reflective of how goddamn traumatized all of us are these days.
Yeah.
And
if
what
you-
we're all
if
going
you-
through.
I mean, the director of Smile is 35. So,
And this movie, actually, before you watch Smile, go to YouTube and Google Laura Hasn't Slept. That is
I really haven't.
that's the short film that the director made before Smile, and it actually serves as a prequel. The
And this
main
is
character,
the director's a directorial debut.
but Laura Hasn't Slept. The main character from Laura Hasn't Slept is the girl in all the trailers, and she's in the beginning of the movie, so it kind of directly picks up with her character. It's kind of neat, and it's worth a watch. It's
Yeah.
like only a few minutes long.
So Parker Finn is definitely one to watch.
The director?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was a big hit too. I think it really did well.
And Sosie Bacon was awesome.
She was really good.
She was really great.
Yeah.
What's your miss of the month?
I don't really have one. I recommended a book that I haven't read yet. That's my miss. I recommended Daphne by Josh Malerman. That's on the list, folks. I'm getting to it. I'm only one me.
I don't have a miss as much as I'm right in the middle of reading Fairy Tale. It is not going to be a miss.
No, it's just
By Stephen King.
That's a massive book. It takes a bit to get through.
It's long,
yeah.
and
but
it's
amazing. You have been enjoying it. I know.
I love it so much, and
That's
I think
awesome.
about it when I'm not reading it.
Oh, wow.
It's just a really great entry from Stephen King and different.
It's
really great. It has definitely Talisman vibes. It has grim fairy tale vibes.
I love so much about Stephen King is how, we've never met him, but how much time he spends in our minds.
And lives with us.
Yeah. Yeah. We won't let him go.
Yeah.
Tabitha misses him,
He's
but
trapped in the basement.
we keep him.
He likes it down there.
We'll hobble him if he tries to escape again.
Exactly.
Just
like in Misery.
So, October
was a big month. It was a horror month. It was a big month. It was a double recommendation month. So I really think we should limit it to our true hit favorite and our miss or missed opportunity.
Then you start first.
Okay. Well, my hit of the month, the super high top hit, is Significant Other.
Oh, right. Yeah, with Micah
Another
Monroe.
Micah Monroe.
Yeah.
On
that
Paramount
one
Plus.
came out of nowhere.
Yeah. It's a very subtle horror film.
Yeah.
It's very strange,
Takes-
very atmospheric. It stars Plop from The Office as well.
Oh, poor Plop.
But I really enjoyed it. I really enjoy Micah Monroe.
I liked it too.
I thought I think she's a really great actress, but it was very atmospheric, which I really, really enjoyed. And
this seems to me
it
to
kept
be...
me really interested. Like I didn't divert my attention.
This
it
seems
was a
like
slow
the
burn,
sweet
but
spot.
really good.
It's the sweet spot for streaming films, like this sort of mid-budget movie for adults, thriller, horror. It doesn't need to make $1 billion at the box office, and it doesn't need to cost $100 million to make.
Right.
That seems to be the future of where these movies are going to end up if they're not going to get theatrical releases. But based on the quality of some of them coming out, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
If it means, taking risks on things you wouldn't normally take in a movie theater on a theatrical release, then the future of streaming, I think, seems pretty interesting.
Yeah, I really thought that it was a surprise. It was one of those like bodies.
It was better than I thought it would be.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I
same.
had
Yeah.
very low expectations, and at the end of it, I was like, "Wow, I really enjoyed that."
I did too. Yeah.
So check it out. It's on Paramount Plus, I believe.
So October also brought us the reboot of Hellraiser, directed by none other than beloved co-host me's favorite David Bruckner. Now, two things I'll say about Hellraiser 2022. As a Hellraiser sequel, it's fantastic. It's definitely the best one since number 2, which, I really rate the first and second one as the only good ones. As a David Bruckner movie, bit of a letdown, honestly. He's coming off The Night House, Ritual, some really fantastic films.
So you just jumped right in and started with your miss.
Well, it's mixed because I will say that the movie was
Mixed.
okay. Everybody was good in it. It was gory. It had all the elements. I thought Jamie Clayton did a great job as the new Pinhead Hell Priest. Doing things a bit differently than Doug Bradley did, which is good. You don't try to copy the master. But I think because my expectations of David Bruckner were so stratospheric after watching The Night House last year that I was a little let down by the movie. That's not to say it's bad. It's just okay.
Awesome.
Sure.
One of my recommendations was not surprising. I think I was reluctant anyway. Was Halloween Ends. It was definitely a miss for me.
I think it was a miss for most people.
I found it really difficult to watch, to get through. I stopped caring a lot, more than half, like
wow.
right at the beginning.
Wow.
I wanted the
you
movie
just really
to
weren't
end.
into the whole plot about that other guy.
No, I didn't buy it. I didn't know where it felt really out of left field.
That's the thing.
It didn't feel conclusive.
David Gordon Green made a very deliberate choice to introduce a brand new character in the third film of this trilogy that most of the movie focuses on. And
just
that's not why people are tuning in. Like, we want to see the showdown between Laurie Strode and Michael Myers. Like, I don't give a shit about this new person.
And the extreme shift of her granddaughter's alliance.
That was the weakest part of the movie for me, was how Andy Matichek's character in the movie was so against type from how she'd been established in the previous two movies.
It wasn't earned. Nothing was earned in that movie.
It was weird.
Even just the whole of where Michael Myers was and how this transfer happened.
It was an
wasn't.
Unfortunate way to wrap up.
I know that's just a weird thing to say about a horror movie, especially like a Michael Myers horror movie. It just was not believable at all.
Especially the ending.
Yeah.
No, I get it. It read very much like a screenplay as opposed to like any.
Yeah, let's just throw all the it was the idea board.
The thing is
that got made
they
into
started
a
off
film.
the trilogy by establishing that it was a very, sort of grounded tone, and then it went to such absurd places that you're like, well, that's not really like the rule book you established.
Yeah.
Don't tell me it's like a grounded take on Halloween, and then it ends with them like collectively throwing him into a, what was it, like a trash compactor or some shit? I don't know. Yeah, you're right. 2 seconds after it was over, I forgot like half of the movie.
Yeah, it just was
bummer.
A distraction for a time.
Talented cast, talented filmmaker doesn't always mean it's going to work.
No, it's sad to end that legacy on that movie.
Well, we'll see. I'm sure that's not the end of Michael Myers.
Not Michael Myers, but of Laurie Strode.
Yeah, at least she got to stab him a bunch of times. So what are we doing next?
Do you have a miss?
For October?
Oh, yours was mixed. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's go to November. November, I'm going to just put this out there. I have nothing to share for this month except for what I am still looking forward to.
Ooh, what's that?
The Menu.
Yeah,
we have not yet
seen it
watched. It's playing at this little theater in town.
We are going to see it.
We are going to watch it. It's been really well audience and well critically received.
Yes.
It, I guess, is funnier than I had anticipated. But again, I'm still very excited to see The Menu.
I'm really looking forward to it.
I still am recommending The Menu.
It looks like a nice skewering of the 1%, and that is something I'm into.
Yes.
I'll watch that.
And Anya Taylor-Joy.
It's a joy.
She is.
She's a Taylor-Joy.
Or Anya.
Anya? I think it's Anya.
I heard there's a different pronunciation.
Sure.
Out there. Anya.
Enya?
Anya.
And like the musician?
No, Anne.
What's that song by Enya?
You got the day flows.
That's awesome.
Time.
I can't believe you know the words to it. You are something.
I don't know if those were the right words, but those were words.
They worked for me.
Your so my hit and miss is a hit that I'm still riding, The Menu, and a miss is the opportunity to have seen The Menu.
I have a big hit from November. It is Satan Slaves Communion, the sequel to Joko Anwar's Satan Slaves. It definitely, based on the way it ended, I'm going to say it's the middle film of a planned trilogy. It's awesome. It continues the story of the family from the first film a couple years later, living in an apartment building, having fled their home after the very awesome ending of the first movie. And it just really picks up. Things continue to go poorly for this family. It's one thing I'll say works against it is it does end on a cliffhanger, and it sort of feels a bit like a middle chapter in some ways. But in other ways, it does ratchet things up. It's just as effective. I mean, Joko Anwar is such an exciting filmmaker. He's an automatic pass from me. I'll watch everything the guy does.
Ooh.
But Satan Slaves Communion, it's it's on Shudder, and it's really great.
Awesome.
Yeah. But you have to watch the first one first, because you won't know or give a shit about anything going on in this movie if you haven't seen the first one.
Awesome. Well, that just about does it. We can't really do December yet because
pretty much
things haven't all come out yet. But
although the trailer for Pale Blue Eye just dropped, I watched it and it looks great.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to it. I love me a grizzled
Behind Blue Eyes
Christian Bale. You know,
every time I hear that,
you think Behind Blue Eyes. Do you think the Fred Durst version?
No, you don't know what it's like
to be a Limp Bizkit.
So we're going to end on that note, everybody.
I feel like we did a pretty good job, honestly. We recommended some good stuff. We watched most of what we recommended.
Yeah, this is the biannual pat on the back episode.
Oh, we're great. Isn't this great? Aren't we great?
We're okay. We had some hits, we had some misses, and we still have things that we need to watch. So we'll get to it. See you next week.
Bye, everybody.
Terror in Tandem is written, produced, and recorded by Laura and Richard Mathiasen, and edited and mixed by Richard Mathiasen. Our theme was written and performed by Carrie Denver, and all other music was written and performed by David Suspanic. All opinions expressed on this podcast are our own and should be taken as such. Thanks for listening, and please remember to give us a like, a review, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. See you next time. We're still